Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Ladies and gentlemen, let me call you the solution providers of Pakistan. We are learning this problem-solving techniques and tools so that whatever work environment you might be working in, I expect from you that you be a solution provider. You may use your rational, data-based, analytical problem-solving style, or as we will move on today into another area, that how you can develop a thinking, and remember it's a thought process. चाहे वो analytical है, rational है, या creative or innovative है, both of it is the thought process. One is that you look at the numbers and the data and the observations and then rationalize and analyze how this problem can be solved. Remember फिर हमने discuss किया था, for example, 5 why tools, why the car is not starting. बिल्कुल इसी तरह से कि why the grade of the students in midterm are not good. That is a problem. You have to think about it. You have to think about it if you are a professor of the class or you are the manager of the class. Say you are a program coordinator for MBA or BBA, or you are a resource person for this particular class. Why the performance of the students in this course in midterm is not up to an expectation. Okay, so we need to find the solution. Number one, why? Was the content not understood clearly by the students? Is this the reason? Number two, was it not delivered in a way which was understandable? Is it the students? Tisri why? Is it the students who have not really been serious enough that they could work hard and get better grade? So you look into the fourth why, इसलिए कि देखिए, this is a problem, the performance of the class. हाँ, performance of 1 or 2 students, all right, maybe there is a specific reason. But when you look at the overall performance of the class, that is a question to be looked into. So you start from one why, systematically go into second, into third, into fourth, into fifth. And most likely, once you reach deeper and deeper into the problem domain, you will come up with the solutions of the problem. अच्छा, फिर इसी एनालिटिकल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के अंदर भी डिस्कस्ड कौन सी दूसरी टेक्निक डिस्कस की थी हमने? बताइए जरा जल्दी से. ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग. You generate alternatives. Number 3, root cause analysis. And looking at all these issues while working in the office or in the organization or even at home, you try to analyze with an objective evidence, with a number-based approach, data-based approach, information-based approach, using logic, using rationalization, how can things be improved? That's one way of doing things. It is expected from all of us. It is expected from managers, executives, officers like you. But now I like to begin, and we want to move on our learning into another area which is a bit of higher level. ये एनालिटिकल स्किल सेट के बगैर तो बात नहीं बनेगी. MBA आपने किया है, there are problems in the market, there are problems in the sales, there are problems with the brand loyalty, there are problems with the customer complaint, there are problems on the production floor, there are problems of the absenteeism. You think of so many issues and that needs to be solved. Lekin, here comes the second part of the problem solving, my dear students, which will guarantee, and let me repeat, it will guarantee you that even when the time of the market is tough, you will have the job. Because you have something which not many people have developed this skill set. And that is what we are calling how creative and how innovative you are, that you make something out of nothing. See, that's something out of nothing. अच्छा, nothing जब मैं कह रहा हूं, tangible, material, इसलिए कि this thought process machine, this processor is with all of us. How innovative you are. और उससे भी एक step आगे, how creative you are. Please develop this area. इस कोर्स में, इस एक सेशन में बहुत सारी चीजें मैं कवर नहीं कर पाऊंगा, इसलिए कि इसमें तो हम जनरल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आई एम letting you be familiar with this area. Look at the website, say, of Dr. Edward de Bono. Look at the websites of Tony Buzan. Look at the other websites which teach you mind mapping. So many tools which are available to make you more creative. And that reminds me that even those tools which takes you from the problem domain into the solution domain, but giving a creative solution. Einstein probably said, you cannot solve the problem with the same thought process, with the same mindset. You have to come out of it. Develop and enter into a new domain. Same mindset will give you same set of problems. It will develop a conceptual block. We will learn what is this conceptual block. So, sooner you develop a habit and a skill set and a mindset of breaking these conceptual blocks, इसलिए कि thought process में कोई conceptual block होता नहीं, होता है, बन जाता है, उसमें से आपने कैसे बाहर निकलना है, that's up to you. Let me share this once again an assessment with you. जरा कागज और पेंसिल तैयार रखिए. मैं आपके सामने statements read करूंगा, and quickly be honest with yourself, assess yourself, measure yourself on a scale of 5 to 1 when I read the statement. Are you ready? Please take a pen or pencil and some paper. This will be measuring your innovative attitude. Again, attitude, thought process. How much innovative you are in your attitude. And I share with some of these statements, and you evaluate yourself. And then, of course, we will talk about the scoring as well. अच्छा जी, scale है 5 to 1 or 1 to 5, whatever way you like to call it. 5 is that this statement is always, almost true for you. Almost always true. This is what you do. अपने आप को 5 नंबर दीजिए. If it is often true, 4. If it is not applicable on your attitude, then you give 3. If it is seldom true about you, 2. And if it is almost never true about you, 1. 1 होगा अगर ये स्टेटमेंट बिल्कुल ट्रू नहीं है आपके बारे में. कभी कभी ट्रू हो जाती है, 2. ये स्टेटमेंट आप पे एप्लीकेबल ही नहीं है, 3. 4 होगा कि often it is true description of your attitude. And number 5, you will give to yourself if it is almost always true. So are you ready then? Number 1, my dear students, and before I read number 1, this is basically describing, giving a description, the way you are or the way you intend to be on the job. लेकिन इंटेंट को छोड़ दीजिए अभी. अभी तो पहले ये मेजर कीजिए how you are today, as of today, while sitting in this session, learning what your innovative attitude is. I'm sure analytically, yes, all of you will have. Have you gone through several years of study, taking courses on marketing and accounting and management? Now you are into MBA. You have used Excel sheets. You know how to use if-then analysis. But this describes the way you are on the job, at the home, while working with your colleagues, especially when you are working in the organizations. Okay? Let us focus that those of you working in the organizations and those of you, जब manager की बात होगी तो इसका मतलब ये होगा कि someone to whom you report, someone who can ask you, who can call an explanation of you, who is your mentor. Statement number 1. I openly discuss with my manager. मैंने कहा था manager की बजाय यहाँ discuss कर लीजिए, maybe with my father, maybe with my elder brother, maybe with someone who is your mentor if you're not still working in the organization. So I repeat, I openly discuss with my manager how to get ahead, how to move on in the career, how to move on higher in the ladder. Number 2, I try new ideas and approaches to solve problems. Scale 5 to 1. Remember that? Number 3, I take things or situations apart to find out how they work. Break them apart, develop a scenario, put them again. Number 4, I welcome uncertainty related to my work. Number 5, I negotiate my salary openly with my supervisor. Number 6, I can be counted on to find new use for existing methods. You can depend on me. I repeat, I can be counted on or you can depend on me to find new use for existing methods. Number 7, I demonstrate originality. हाँ, ये फला ने कहा, ये उसका आइडिया है. I demonstrate originality. मैं कॉपी नहीं हूं, मैं ओरिजिनल हूं. Number 8, are you ready, my dear students? Number 8, I provide critical input towards a new solution. Critical. I provide critical input. I'm harsh on the idea, not on the person. See, that's the difference. I provide critical input toward a new solution. Number 9, I provide written evaluations of proposed ideas. In other words, I don't shy away. I'm not withdrawn. If some new idea is proposed, I will give written evaluation. I will analyze. I will take ownership of it. I will stick to it and take confidence in it. Number 10, I take time to pursue my own pet ideas or projects. Time to 24 hours ही हैं. You have to find out some hour or so to discuss and work on your ideas and on your projects. Some new concept, some new idea. I take time to pursue my own pet ideas. इसलिए कि देखिए पहली दफा में लोग कन्विंस नहीं होते हैं, कंसेंसस बिल्ड नहीं होता है. There is a risk. So that's why how innovative you are, that you develop consensus, you hang in there, and you are confident of your idea that it will be successful. You know that when the project will be initiated, it will close, achieve on time. So I take time to pursue my own pet ideas or projects. All right? So these are 10 statements. अब जरा स्कोर कैलकुलेट कर लीजिए अपना, टोटल कर लीजिए सबका. कितना स्कोर आया आपका, जल्दी कीजिए. If your score is 35 or above, maximum 40 हो सकता है. If your score is 35, you are in the 50 percentile. Learn this. What is this 50 percentile? 35 score is percentile 50. 50% of the people who took this test, who took this assessment, will have 35 or so. बेहतर ये है, higher you have, higher innovative attitude you will have. रेंज क्या है आपके पास? 35 से ऑनवर्ड अप टू 50. 10 statements, 100%. If not 100, you can calculate. 50 percentile is people who have 35 score. अच्छा, अगर आपका 35 से कम है, so think of it. What are those areas? मैंने जैसे नंबर 5 कहा था, I negotiate my salary openly with my supervisor. मुश्किल एरिया है. कैसे लर्न करना है? How can I present my viewpoint in a respectable way? How do I get my market worth? How do I let people know what are my strengths and what is my market value? That is on the basis of the skill set. So my dear students, what we were learning here, that what is your innovative attitude? And why we want to do this? We want to do it because we want to find out that there are conceptual blocks, mental blocks. These are mental obstacles. इसलिए कि this all problem solving is an outcome of the thought process. It's conceptual blocks means mental obstacles which constrain the way you solve the problems and you define the problems. And please remember, we learned that in the brainstorming technique, if you were not able to define the problem, जैसे फर्ज कीजिए आपने कहा 5 why, car is not starting. अब आपको पता ही नहीं है कि रीजंस क्या हो सकती हैं. You are driving the car. You must know. Analytically speaking, logically speaking, rationally speaking, if you are a driver, it's not only that you turn the key on and the car is on and here you go. Take a little time. See when the car will stop on the road and it will give you problem. That is the cost. And it's always when production stops, it's a problem. It has a cost. It could be emotional cost, it could be intellectual cost, physical cost, or financial cost. There is a cost. And what we are learning here is, let this cost be minimized. And especially those of you, the female students, please learn. Open the hood of the engine and see, is it the problem of the alternator? Is it the problem of the belt? Is it the problem of the oil? Is it the कहाँ है oil की stick? कभी साल में एक मरतबा तो देख ही लें. ब्रेक ऑयल कहां पर है? ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर भी यही इश्यूज होते हैं. कहां हीट है? क्यों हीट है? ऑयलिंग तो नहीं हुई. कल्चरल इश्यूज हैं. So that's why you're defining the problem. So conceptual blocks mean these are your mental obstacles which constrain the way you define the problem. अच्छा, अब जब problem define होते हुए ही सही define नहीं हुआ, think of it then. Solutions will not be optimum. And when the problem is not defined, how can you go out of the box to look for the innovative and creative attitude? So speaking of creative then, and innovative, again it's a thinking. Remember, it's thinking. Creative thinking means it's a specific thought process which improves your ability to be creative. You give a new idea. You give a new solution for the old problems, for the existing problem. You make a statement which it is unique. And think of it, creative people are required in the design department, in the process development department, in the new business development department. और आजकल तो business development की बहुत सारी jobs हैं. How can you develop a new business for the existing organization? How can you find a new market for the existing product? How can you find a new niche in the market? That's innovative and creative. So being in an optimal state of mind when you are creative and innovative to generate new ideas. Optimum. Creative thinking means to maximize the ability of your brain to think of new ideas. How do you open up? How do you unwind the thought process. जिसे हम कहते हैं, how can you see through the data? How can you see through? अब डेटा के थ्रू आप अकाउंटिंग शीट के ऊपर, सेल्स की शीट के ऊपर, रेवेन्यू की शीट के ऊपर तो नंबर्स ही होंगे ना. बट हाउ कैन यू सी थ्रू? योर एबिलिटी टू थिंक ऑफ ओरिजिनल, डाइवर्स एंड elaborate ideas. Original, diverse and elaborate, loud and clear. One can understand and you can present in a way that people will understand. And once people will understand, they will appreciate your creative and innovative skill. Of course, it's a series of mental action which produce changes and developments of your thought and the process of exploring multiple avenues of the actions or thoughts. Multiple avenues. It's not a linear thinking. It is not an if-then thinking. It is a cyclic thinking, exponential thinking. It is 2 times and 10 times. Not 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. How can we make double the sales? How can we launch a product instead of 1 year in 6 months? Let's make and break the rules. Let's think out of the box. Let's give something to the organization, to the market, that you are the only one. And think in Pakistan, especially in the service sector. Is it not a new idea that banks are opening franchises? सोचिए जरा थोड़ी देर के लिए, आज से 10 साल पहले ये कोई आइडिया था? Many banks are opening franchises. They'll give you their name. You represent that bank. And on behalf of the bank, तो innovative idea तो है. And in this 21st century knowledge-based and information-based economy, it's the price of the idea. Innovative. How can you come up with new application of the same old method? I'll share with you in a minute a couple of examples. This going out of the box, we usually call divergent thinking. You go right, you go left. You go out of the boundaries. जब हम कहते हैं out of the box का मतलब होता है you go out of the boundaries. You extend your limits of thought process. You go beyond the boundary, come up with a solution. You are attached to the center. इसलिए कि brain तो एक ही है ना. You have an imagination. अच्छा, imagination पे तो कोई पाबंदी नहीं है ना. How high you can fly, how you can take your thoughts around the world. Business at the speed of thought and business at the speed of light. Now, if you compare the thought and the light, now business at the speed of light, what does that mean? That means you're sitting on the light, your idea is sitting on the light, and going around the world, selling in all the markets of the world. And what is the speed of light? बताइए जरा जल्दी से मुझे. I know you're not a physics student, but being a business student, you should read this book written by Bill Gates, Business at the Speed of Light. That means light can travel around the world 7 times in a second. See the speed? 7 times in 1 second, the light can travel around the world. And that is what the fiber optic is. In fiber optic, it's a channel of communication. The data is traveling in the fiber optic cable around the world, and the speed is 7 times in a second. Your idea of a new application, your idea of a new service, available to the world, and people are ready to buy. That's why I'm saying in this 21st century, we living in Pakistan, you young managers, young students, young executives. You can play the game of business. You can play the game of ideas. You can play the game of solution providing. Exactly, my dear students, exactly at the same level where the students in US, Canada or Australia or London can do. It's a business at the speed of light. It's a business on the internet. And internet does not recognize this idea is coming from Pakistan or this idea is coming from a manager in US. We are proud of many ideas. I remembered and I recalled again, when we speak of Arfa Kareem, she is the only young Microsoft certified specialist in the world. And look at so many other applications, events, processes, which are coming out of Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, small cities. I was looking at one application being implemented in Mardan, telehealth. Find out how this information-based service using internet providing health-related issues. अच्छा, मर्दान के छोटे से गांव में जहां डॉक्टर तो सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता कि अवेलेबल हो, but how this internet can provide you an information and save the lives of the people, how it can provide you education. So you see, that's what I'm saying. Creative, divergent, and of course convergent. You have to converge on a certain point, make sure that things are solved. But believe me, we Pakistanis must use this opportunity of using our brain. How can we use and involve our innovative and creative ideas and bring some new solutions? Think of it in the service economy. What a new service can you provide? Now, just one little example. The way you serve the student biryani, the way you serve. Biryani, there is nothing new, special in it. There's nothing special in it. But the way you serve, and the way you serve at home, the process you develop, that brings millions of rupees. That is what business is. Nothing new. बिजली का बिल भी आता है, सुई गैस का बिल भी आता है, सबके घरों में आता है. But how can you come up with a company where you can put a little ads here and there? Find a space on those bills. Have a negotiation with those providers and see how you can make business out of it. Creative and innovative. मैंने कहा ना कि बैंकों का फ्रेंचाइज, हमने फूड सेक्टर में रेस्टोरेंट के फ्रेंचाइज तो सुने थे, बेकरीज के भी फ्रेंचाइज सुने थे. Here are the franchises of banks. And you wait in 21st century what kind of new services you will be coming. Anyhow, let's come back to then creative problem solving. What are the impediments? What are the constraints? My dear students, most people assume creativity is one-dimensional. No, it's not one-dimensional. It is not X going to Y. No, it's not from X1 to X2. It's rather going from X to Y. ये two-dimensional हो जाएगा. X1 to X2, line आपने draw की. It is not a linear thinking. It is going from X1 to X2 and from X1 to Y1. And better it is if it is from X1 to Z1 as well. Three-dimensional. Think of it in three-dimensional. Think of it exponential. Think of it in four-dimensional. Four. टाइम भी ले आइए उसमें. XYZ, कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट्स. अब टाइम चौथा डायमेंशन आ गया. हमने कहा था ना, बिजनेस एट द स्पीड ऑफ लाइट. व्हाई नॉट? पॉसिबल तो है. डिपेंड ये करता है कि आप अपनी लीनियर थिंकिंग को चेंज करके किस तरह, लेकिन पहले तो देखिए ना, पहले तो आपको पता होना चाहिए वेयर इज द वर्ड, विच वर्ड आर यू टॉकिंग, इज इट द वर्ड ऑफ ओनली शिकारपुर एंड नवाबशाह और घोटकी एंड पत्तों की, और is it the word where Pakistan is one country on the map of the world and there are 180 countries of the world? See the market, how it's expanding? अगर आप वो जो सुना होगा आपने कुएं के मेंढक, कुएं के अंदर मेंढक जो है उसकी दीवार के साथ साथ चलता है और वो समझता है दुनिया यही है, एक चक्कर काट लिया तो बस दुनिया यही है। दुनिया इतनी नहीं है। अल्लाह ताला की इस दुनिया के अंदर बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मौजूद हैं एंड यू नीड टू एक्सप्लोर, एंड व्हेन यू नीड टू एक्सप्लोर दैट इज वेयर योर क्रिएटिविटी एंड इनोवेटिवनेस एंड इमेजिनेशन एंड इनक्यूबेशन एंड फ्लाइंग आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स। ख्यालात हैं, ख्यालात तो उड़ने चाहिए। अल्लामा इकबाल की पूरी शायरी नौजवानों को शाहीन का सिंबल देना, you know, eagle, that is a symbol of the youth given by Allama Iqbal. Why? Why Shaheen? Why did he pick this bird? This is the highest flying bird available on earth. Highest. Well, it's difficult. It requires courage. But is it not possible? Many young Pakistani managers and scientists and businessmen have done it. All it depends how you open your new market, how creatively you handle it. Almost everyone has created blocks. ब्लॉक तो होते हैं जब हम अपनी दुनिया को समेट लेते हैं, नहीं मैं नहीं कर सकता, मुझसे नहीं हो सकता, ये तो बड़े शहरों में रहने वाले करते हैं, छोटे शहरों के लोग अंग्रेजी नहीं बोल सकते। भाई क्यों नहीं बोल सकते? यू आर ब्लॉकिंग, यू आर इनहिबिटिंग योर एक्टिविटी। व्हेन देयर इज अ विल, देयर विल बी अ वे। दैट्स क्रिएटिविटी, दैट्स इनोवेटिवनेस। सो प्लीज try to remove these blocks. और आजकल तो आपने देखे होंगे ना, वो जो ब्लॉक्स सड़कों के ऊपर रखे हुए होते हैं, रास्ता रोकते हैं, और फिर आपको जिगजैग करके निकलना ही होता है उसमें से। डोंट हिट द ब्लॉक। मेंटल ब्लॉक की हम बात कर रहे हैं। डोंट हिट अगेंस्ट द वॉल, फाइंड अ वे। यस, देयर आर वॉल्स। वो जो ब्लॉक्स आ जाते हैं, वो जब थिंकिंग इनहिबिट हो जाती है, दैट मीन्स यू आर हिटिंग द ब्लॉक। फाइंड सम वे, राइट और लेफ्ट, ओवर एंड अबव, हाउ योर आइडियाज कैन फ्लाई अवे। मुश्किल तो होती है, बट आउट ऑफ द डिफिकल्टी हियर कम्स ए यूनिक, नाइस, ब्यूटिफुल मॉर्निंग। आज जो ये आपको पूरी दुनिया के अंदर KFC नजर आते हैं, आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव रेड इट, कि वो KFC के वो जो बाबे की तस्वीर है, हैव यू एवर लर्न्ड कि उस बाबे ने एट द एज ऑफ 65, व्हेन ही डिड नॉट हैव अ जॉब, you know, he called his friends and he asked him, tell me, how can I find a good job? I have to live. And their friends gave them a good advice. What can you do, Babaji? I can make good chicken. Write it down. So he wrote the recipe. बल्कि उनको दोस्तों को पका के भी खिलाई. Then he wrote the recipe. He took this recipe and he went around into the... पैसे तो नहीं थे ना उसके पास. He went to one hotel, second hotel, third restaurant, fourth restaurant, hundreds of restaurants. Nobody wanted to buy this recipe. इसलिए उसका कहना यह था, this is my recipe, you will sell the chicken and you will give me 10% of the profit. After 900 restaurants, he found one. And chicken was start selling. Today, you see this restaurant all over the world. Same recipe. वो जिसको हम कहते हैं ना, original Kentucky. Same recipe. So you get out of the box. Don't think things cannot be done. My dear students, there are things which can be done. Let's look 4 types of creativity. Let's look on the left-hand side. Internally, at home, within an organization, what can you do? Number 1, improvement. तो होना है. Improvement of revenue, improvement of sales, improvement of brand image, improvement of customer complaints. So many things to be improved. This means you have to be better. You can use the, again, Japanese tool of Kaizen. You can use any quality management system. Things have to be improved. और quality assurance system या quality management system का मतलब ही ये है कि processes and methods will be in place and you will keep on doing according to those procedures, so the cost of doing mistakes will be minimized. Improvement. You want to be better. Number 2, incubation. You want to cook the idea, how to be better and how to be sustainable. Corrective attitude, improvement. Preventive attitude, जैसे प्रोफेसर डेमिंग ने कहा था, there will be fires in the hotel. इसको हम रोक नहीं सकते. हाँ, ये कर सकते हैं कि when there will be fire, how are we going to deal with it? Preventive. And think of it. Preventive measure means think of it before it happens. Now comes the second part on the right hand side, investment. Take a course. Go for lateral thinking course. See where the Edward de Bono seminar is being conducted. See where the, in Pakistan, mind-related activities and exercises and workshops are being offered. Investment. Investment means you are investing in time, in money, in future, in the department. You want to achieve those goals which are providing benefits for the future. And the best it is, my dear students, the best it is imagination. Be new. Come up with a new idea. Come up with a new personality. Come up with a new brand. Come up with a new product. कभी सोचा था किसी ने कि ये पानी भी बिकेगा बोतलों के अंदर? The first time. Imagination. पानी तो नहीं बिकता था बोतलों में. और जब बिकने लगा, see how many companies are there selling water? अब तो खैर हर तरह का ही वाटर बिकता है बोतल के अंदर. But imagination. You be the first. Be new. I was surprised when I went to Malaysia. हर चीज ही लिफाफों में दे रहे हैं. जूस भी लिफाफों में, चाय भी लिफाफों में. इसका मतलब यह है यू आर इंक्रीजिंग योर सेल. और फिर मैंने ऐसा लिफाफा भी देखा, आई मीन दैट शॉपिंग बैग. दे पुट अ स्ट्रॉ इन द शॉपिंग बैग एंड दे पुट अ लिटिल आइस इन इट. अभी ये पाकिस्तान में मैंने नहीं देखा. इसलिए कि फिर उस शॉपिंग बैग को आपको टाई इस तरह से करना होगा कि उसमें से कोई चीज गिरे ना, और उसमें फिर आपको स्ट्रॉ भी डालना है. सीधी इनोवेशन है. थिंग्स आर देयर. मार्केट तो है ना. इसलिए कि नाउ व्हेन यू प्रोवाइड दिस लिटिल फूड आइटम, यू आर एडिंग स्केलेबिलिटी, यू आर एडिंग पोर्टेबिलिटी. थिंक ऑफ इट हाउ द सेल विल मल्टीप्लाई. और मैं फिर वो एग्जांपल देता हूं कि स्टैनफोर्ड का ग्रेजुएट, एमबीए, स्टैनफोर्ड का ग्रेजुएट अफ्रीका में सैर करने गया, नाइजीरिया में खास तौर पर. एंड ही केम अप विद एन आइडिया, took seed money from the Stanford Business School, and this idea was how to launch a franchise of the mobile toilets. Imagination. तो इन 4 किस्म की जो एक्टिविटीज की हम बात कर रहे हैं, हमें अभी इमेजिनेशन की हम बात कर रहे थे, इसका मतलब है there is a need for brand new breakthrough products. Breakthrough products. People didn't know about iPad. iPod. Let me talk of iPod first. बड़े बड़े कैसेट प्लेयर हुआ करते थे. And here it is. iPod Nano. Thousands of songs. हर किसी ने कान में अपनी दुनिया बसाई हुई है. But think of the sales. And then of course you go from iPod to iPhone to iPad and you name it. It's a completely new revolution. And still there is no end. Look at all these smartphones which are coming. Students are using for educational purposes. Teacher have to be careful now. Student using that smartphone, 12-15 हजार रुपए का तो स्टूडेंट आजकल ले ही रहे हैं फोन. और ये जो स्मार्टफोन इस रेंज में आ रहा है, स्टूडेंट कैन यूज एंड कंपेयर द लेक्चर नोट्स ऑफ द प्रोफेसर. क्या कह रहा है प्रोफेसर? इज इट अप टू द मार्क? इज इट ब्रेक थ्रू? इन्वेस्टमेंट, इंक्यूबेशन, improvement. What are these examples? What are these expectations from you? And how it can make you more creative? I know improvement and incubation is comparatively easy. इसीलिए those of you who might have gone through the entrepreneurship course, you make a business plan, you make a technical plan, financial plan, marketing plan, complete business plan, right? And then maybe your institution can provide you an incubator. Okay, here is an infrastructure, here is the platform, you incubate your idea. See if it works. Millions and billions of dollars of business. And when this Facebook was created, he did not know that he will create such a big business. So that is how you look at. And if you're going to take the entrepreneurship course, please come up with a new idea of your choice, incubation. And if you like to move on to the imagination side, yes, why not? Things are possible. I'll just share with 2 examples and then move on. Microwave आप सबने देखे होंगे, हर घर की जरूरत है. But you know this microwave idea, the microwave at home is basically a magnetron in the physics department. Physics department के अंदर बहुत बड़े बड़े magnets रिसर्च पर्पस के लिए यूज होते हैं. But how this microwave radiation can be used for cooking purposes? How it will heat the food items? और फिर सबसे ये मशहूर एग्जाम्पल, बिलीव मी, इस एग्जाम्पल की वजह से मिलियंस एंड बिलियंस डॉलर का बिजनेस नया शुरू हो गया. आपने देखे होंगे येलो कलर के छोटे छोटे पोस्ट इट नोट्स, वो जिसके पीछे गम लगी हुई होती है, आप उस पर नोट्स लिखते हैं. प्रोफेसर खास तौर पर, स्टूडेंट्स भी अब यूज करते हैं, येलो कलर के, रेड कलर के, एंड यू पुट इट ऑन द पेपर और ऑन द ग्लास और ऑन द प्लास्टिक, रिमूव इट, पुट इट अगेन. रीयूजेबिलिटी. पोस्ट इट नोट्स 3M कंपनी के अंदर, ये जो मिस्टर स्पेंस सिल्वर था, गलती से उसने वो ग्लू बना दी, गलती से. अब गलती से बन गई, उसने कहा अब ये तो बहुत नुकसान हो गया. नो 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 नो. 3M company is the one which ask their employees, sit down on your table every day for half an hour and think about it. Think of new ideas. कुछ काम मत करो, बैठ जाओ. तो वो जब बैठा और उसने उसके बारे में स्टडी की, उसने कहा अच्छा ये ग्लू वो तो नहीं जो हमें चाहिए थी, लेकिन अभी कर क्या सकती है. उसने कागज के पीछे लगा के देखा, and then he put it on a piece of paper, he removed it again, he gave you a post-it note, opened completely a new business. It's being used all over the world by all types of people. So that brings me to a point which is known as lateral thinking. Again, it is the area of Dr. Edward de Bono. Please find out if you can take some more learning from his courses or from his books. He has a books also written on this area. But lateral thinking is a set of systematic techniques which are used for changing the concepts and perceptions and generating new ones. In other words, exploring multiple possibilities and multiple approaches instead of single. That's all. Instead of one, you move into the 3-dimension or maybe 4 dimensions. Instead of thinking vertically, कि स्टील होगा, कार बनेगी, कार डिस्पोज ऑफ हो जाएगी. नो, दैट्स नॉट वर्टिकल थिंकिंग. कपास आएगी, जिनिंग होगी, स्पिनिंग होगी, वीविंग होगी, कपड़ा डाइंग होगा, फिर उससे कमीज बनेगी या पैंट बनेगी. दैट्स वर्टिकल थिंकिंग. दैट्स ओके. लीनियर थिंकिंग. बट थिंक ऑफ lateral thinking. इंजन तो बनाया था, मैंने एग्जांपल पहले भी दी थी, इंजन तो बनाया था हमने कार के लिए, 4 स्ट्रोक इंजन, राइट? वही 4 स्ट्रोक इंजन साइज छोटा कर दिया जनरेटर के लिए, वही 4 स्ट्रोक इंजन साइज छोटा कर दिया मोटरसाइकिल के लिए, प्रिंसिपल इज सेम। वही इंजन और छोटा कर दिया लॉन मोवर के लिए। यू डिस्कवर न्यू आइडियाज, वर्टिकल थिंकिंग, यू डेवलप द आइडिया। और अब तो वैसे स्पीकिंग ऑफ द कॉटन, पाकिस्तान इज ए country where the textile sector is very, export oriented sector. अभी तक मैंने नहीं सुना, लेकिन वो बीज तो अवेलेबल है कि rather than getting a white cotton, अच्छा कॉटन व्हाइट ही होती है, क्या किया जाए? नहीं, rather than developing a red color suit, why don't you grow red color cotton? Red color cotton. It's a new idea. आप में से जो एग्री इंटरेस्ट रखते हो, एग्री बिजनेस में इंटरेस्ट रखते हो, एक्सप्लोर इट, अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर देयर। सो इन अदर वर्ड्स, यू इग्नोर द कॉमनैलिटीज, क्रिएटिविटी इज ब्लॉक्ड व्हेन इंडिविजुअल्स फेल टू फाइंड द कॉमन थ्रेड विच एग्जिस्ट बिटवीन डिसिमिलर प्रॉब्लम्स। मैंने एग्जांपल दी थी ना कि वो जो पंप मरीन में यूज होता था, सबमरीन्स में, हाउ कैन दैट पंप बी यूज्ड, सिमिलर प्रिंसिपल in the pump which is used for the heart surgery. Dissimilar. So you have the problem solving, analytical and creative. But let me bring you to a point now where you will assess your skill and I will take your quiz. But this quiz, you give the answer and you know the answers. You won't submit it to the virtual university for grading. Question number 1. कागज पेंसिल ले लिया आपने, आंसर लिखने आपने इस क्विज के। Number 1, in a given day, creative problem solving occurs more often than rational problem solving in modern organizations. Yes or no? ये आपके सामने 6 क्वेश्चंस लिखे हुए हैं प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग पर। आप जरा आंसर दीजिए इनके, और खास तौर पे देखिए छठा क्वेश्चन क्या है? क्रिएटिव प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इज एन इनहेरेंट एबिलिटी रादर देन अ स्किल which can be developed. What is your viewpoint? Is it a skill which can be developed? Or is it a God-given inherent ability? आपका viewpoint क्या है? Let me ask one more question. और इसमें फिर आपके पास multiple choice का आंसर है. When engaging in decision making to address a given problem, one should, 4 choice हैं आपके पास. One should evaluate alternatives. One should evaluate alternatives relative to satisfactory rather than an optimal standard. One should seize the decision-making process as soon as an apparent suitable solution presents itself, or one should evaluate alternatives in terms of individual rather than organizational goals. Most common method of generating alternatives is the technique. 4 choice आपके पास दी हैं, इन चारों में से आंसर दीजिए कौन सी टेक्निक है जो कॉमन मेथड ऑफ जनरेटिंग ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आपको देती है। और इसके साथ ही माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, व्हेन स्पीकिंग ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, लेट मी शेयर विद यू दिस लिटिल शॉर्ट केस सो यू कैन लर्न in bit more detail in the form of a case, short case, how to solve problems analytically and creatively. And this case, written by Ken Hudson, Thinking Outside the Box. It was published in Australian Financial Review, 8th June 2001. It is about improving the corporate creativity. So please read the case, and after reading the 2 pages cases, 2 pages case, how to solve the problems analytically and creatively, there is a question. And you have to submit the answer of this question for grading to virtual university. All right? So you'll take time and you will answer the question after reading the case. Question is, this article suggests that creativity may not be enhanced when management attempt to formalize creativity process within organizations. What is your view? So it's a short case, you read it. What is your view? What approach would you take for increasing the creativity within an organization? So now here it comes, a 2-page case, on creativity and problem solving and analytical and creative problem solving, published in Financial Review. We like to find out your viewpoint. And my dear students, the answer to this question will go for grading to virtual university. So you take your time and you submit this case for grading. All right? How does it seem now? Are you becoming more solution provider? Are you getting out of the box? I'm sure you can. It is an ability which you can develop. It's my viewpoint. It is a skill you can learn. Anybody can learn. It is not only for the people living in Karachi, Lahore and Peshawar and Islamabad or Quetta. No. It can be a skill which anybody living in any small or big cities in Pakistan can learn. This is my belief. This is how I have learned. Thank you, and thank you very much. And I will see you in the next session. And until then, Khuda Hafiz.